off. And I should be feeling bad that I don't, because I feel like I've given you guys enough meat to chew on for the time being. And you know, I've been working on a whole lot of other things in the meantime, and yeah, road to 2000. Welcome to everyone that is new. Thank you so much for joining us. What we do here is travel content, lifestyle, and barely any architecture. But today what I'll be sharing with you are 7 ways to travel on a budget. So I know traveling is expensive, and I keep saying this, and you know what? I have made it my mission to try and make it more affordable for you guys so that the quality of life, you get me, the quality of life still elevates. You know, regardless of what your bank account is looking like, I want you to experience new things and to expand the things that are happening in your life. You know, it can't be a groove every day. Like it just, you know, give me something else. Okay guys, let's get into this video. Number 1 on the list is group travel. So group traveling is perfect for people who don't want to plan their own trips, or rather not even don't want to plan their own trips, but just don't want the hassle of trying to figure out your own itinerary, or for people that are tired of like planning trips with their friends and all they end up doing at the destination is drinking. I don't know, but for me that's a turn off, guys. Like you can't invite me to a trip and expect to see the budget is just transport, accommodation and alcohol. That is embarrassing. Like give me something, say activity budget, you know, say quad biking, say something, you know, like ignite my interest, you know what I mean, incite me. And that's why group travel is perfect. So now what I mean by budget friendly is the fact that these guys plan your trip for you and you guys are already in a large group, so things are going to be cheaper than it is if you plan your own trip. Trust me. My friends and I tried planning our own trip last year, and when we found a group trip or a group travel company that does exactly what we wanted to do, we figured that it might have been like 800 less than what we were going to spend had we planned it ourselves. 800 less each type of thing. Like that's insane. So book into a hostel. So hostels are kind of like dormitory accommodations that make traveling so much cheaper, because accommodation could be one of your largest your largest chunk of where your money goes. I think hostels are perfect if you're traveling maybe with your friends, right? Because honestly, I don't see a need for you guys to be sleeping in a fancy hotel when most of the time that you're going to be spending on the trip is going to be outside. So you just come back home to sleep. That time you're paying $3,000 a night per room. I don't think that's wise in any way. So hostels are the way forward. There are some amazing hostels locally that are clean, that literally have the best facilities. So if you guys want me to plug you on some hostels as well, let me know in the comments and maybe we can do a follow-up video. Third way to travel on a budget, locally, internationally, whatever, apply these tips to whatever trip you're planning. Number 3 is traveling by bus. Okay, traveling by bus or by train. In South Africa specifically, I think traveling by bus is so much cheaper. It is so much cheaper to travel by bus than it is to fly, because our domestic flights are actually insane. Like they are so expensive. So traveling by bus literally could save you maybe about 500 rand. That's a lot of money. I mean, if you think about a quad biking experience could cost you about 600 bucks. You're only 100 rand off from quad biking versus, you know what I mean? I think the only con of traveling by bus is the length it takes, but honestly speaking, it's really not that bad. You'll be sleeping most of the time. Most bus trips, especially long ones, happen overnight, right? Like from Joburg to Durban, those happen overnight or early morning, so that by the time you wake up, it's just about sunrise, or it's 7 a.m. or whatever, and you've arrived at your destination, right? So I think that's something to consider. I mean, if you're going to be saving 500 bucks, that's 500 bucks that could go into an experience. That's 500 bucks that could go into exploring restaurants, museums. Think about it. Number 4 on the list is travel with a +1. trust me, if you can, travel with a +1 or a +2, okay? But let's start with the +1 chat. Traveling with someone is helpful because, especially in terms of sharing transport costs, sharing accommodation costs, that comes in handy. Splitting it 2 ways versus splitting it 1 way, right? So if you can travel with one person at least, or 2 people, that would be great, because some Airbnbs and hotels do allow people to sleep 3 in a room, even though it's listed as 2. Sometimes it'll be like a sleeper couch or things like that. So you can really make use of traveling. Just having one travel buddy, honestly, will save you so much money. Like, imagine an accommodation that goes for 1.5 per night, and now if you're traveling alone, that whole 1.5 is your responsibility, and you don't want it. You don't want that responsibility. So if you're traveling with someone, you guys split it 2 ways and it's $750. And that means you guys can either stay a little bit longer, or you can explore more of the city or the town that you're in. And what do we want? We want more experiences. So we need to budget our trips in such a way that they yield us the most out of the time that we're there. Guys, but ang pangalan ni makeup. Wow. Guys, I look like a really pretty mom to be. Wife, mom, those things, they suit me, you know? Anyway, yeah, so number 5 on the list is eat local food. I don't necessarily think that this is an easy one to apply in South Africa, because our local food is hidden in terms of, accessibility, especially in the tourist perspective of things, right? But when you go to places like China, I'm gonna make an example with China because that's where I ate the most local food while I was there, including Nigeria. So with those places, literally local food is everywhere. On your way to the mall, on your way to the subway, it's everywhere. There are people cooking across the street everywhere. There are restaurants everywhere, and they're all Asian or they're all Nigerian, depending on the country. South Africa, in terms of local food, it hasn't been smart about that, because our local food is hidden. Like, it's literally, I don't want to say it's in dingy areas, but it's not in areas where tourists are. And I feel like that is in itself a missed opportunity in terms of our tourism structure as a country, right? People don't, throughout the country in general, all our restaurants don't even serve something like itombolo, dumpling, which is an African staple, a South African staple. It's like a South African traditional local staple. Amakota have now recently become commercialized, so to speak, with Kota Joes popping up here and there. And but also these are things that, I don't know, they lose their authenticity. So if you're touring and you're eating this kota, but it's more gourmet than it is like Soweto kota or Tembisa kota or Guatema kota, or Spato, as other people call it. It's just not the same, and I honestly think that it is a missed opportunity because those foods are cheap. So in terms of budget-friendly traveling, that's the kind of stuff you should be eating, and it just enriches your experience, and immerses you into the culture of where you are. So when I was in Nigeria with my family, we had Nigerian food throughout. We didn't have any KFC, any what. We were having jollof and fish. That's what made sense to me personally. The other stuff I couldn't eat because, some things you're not accustomed to taste-wise, texture-wise. Whoop easy. In terms of when we were in China, we had, I'm a lover for Chinese food. So we were having everything, any snacks that they would have, along the road we would buy, along the streets we would buy. restaurants would have dinner with them every night, like would have dinner at a Chinese restaurant every night. Local food is always affordable. It's always going to be affordable. But as soon as you walk into a restaurant like Solo in the South African context, they don't serve local food whatsoever. And that's what makes dining experiences in our country specifically expensive, you know, because we're eating things that are exported ideas, exported ways of cooking, which is a shame. So yeah, in the South African context, that might not work because you might not access it very easily. But if you can, do try to eat local food as much as you can. It will save you so much money. Number 6 on ways to travel on a budget is to self-drive. No brainer. And I do believe that self-drive with people also in your car, because then you can split the bill even further. If there's 4 of you in a car, you guys can split an 800 Rand bill 4 ways, you know, which makes it a quarter, well, 3/4 cheaper for all of you. Like if you want some self-drive ideas of where to go, just check out the video I did a couple of months ago. I'm gonna link it somewhere here or wherever along the screen, and yeah, check that out. Most of the drives that I did in that video are about an hour long, so they're not that long, but just to make your trip even more affordable, take someone with you. Last but not least, look for things that are free, okay? I don't want to list any examples, but maybe that should be a separate video, because there are so many things that are almost free that you can do on a trip that will enhance your experience, and these are applicable wherever you are. So that's what I like about those. So I think I should do a completely separate video, and yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in that. I would be interested in that. I think I'm gonna do it. I don't care if you guys don't want to see, I'm gonna do it. And okay, last number last is go camping. Literally go camping. Like, that's probably the cheapest accommodation you will ever find. It's cheaper than hostel living. A tent that sleeps 2 to 4 people are not that expensive. Yeah, because the longevity of it is that you could have that for like 10 years. Trust me, tents are durable, and that's what I love about them. And campsites are so cheap. Like you could rent a campsite for like 100 Rand a day, and that time there's probably like 2 or 3 of you guys, like 2 or 3 tents in that little, you know, designated camping spot. So that's really cheap. A place that I do know that has a great camping facility that I absolutely love, and I think is just, yeah, Bila warm baths. That's the one. They have an amazing camping facility, and what makes it even more worthwhile is the fact that you have access to their resort facilities. And what more do you want to do? Like, you literally will be spending zero. All you have to pay for is your campsite, your wristband, and you guys could be there for a whole week and have the time of your lives. So camping is another super savvy way to experience the world, experience nature. Maui and I actually recently went camping with Glamping Adventures. If you guys want to see how that turned out, it was one of the best trips I've ever been on. Like, it was even raining the whole time, but so fulfilling, so enriching. I feel like I have touched the earth, you know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, beautiful people.